All right, so we are continuing with our post Star Wars celebration coverage, and what I want to talk about in this video is the upcoming Dave Filoni movie that is going to be the culmination of really not only the Mandalorian, but also like all the spin-offs that we've had so far. So, Rebels, Ahsoka, of course, the Mandalorian, Boba Fett because that was a thing. The only one I think probably wouldn't be included in that is Obi-Wan, because I think Obi-Wan's kind of its own thing, kind of its own self-contained story that's going to tie more into episode 4. But everything else, seems to be culminating in this movie that Dave Filoni is working on. So what I want to talk about is, exactly what this movie is going to be and what it's not going to be. So there are some very prominent YouTubers in the Star Wars community that have been going on for a while about this whole talk that, Disney is going to fire Kathleen Kennedy, that, the sequels are going to get retconned and they're going to create like a multiverse. The world between worlds is going to be used to, write out the sequels and stuff. And the Mandalorian and Ahsoka and all of this is heading towards a new timeline that doesn't include the stuff of the sequels. And, the people that we're talking about here is Doomcock and Mike Zero. And let me go ahead and say for the record, look, I think Doomcock has gotten some stuff right. I think Doomcock, for example, Doomcock actually, broke the news about some of the rumors and stuff, some of the things that were coming out, some of the leaks that were coming out about Indiana Jones 5. And if you look at the trailers that have been coming out, there is some indication that those rumors are actually going to turn out to be true. So, Doomcock, I think, he doesn't get everything right, but no one does. No one does. But I do think he has gotten some things right. And, it's, some people criticize him, it is what it is. I don't take his word as gospel like some of his followers do, but at the same time, I think I do kind of give him a little bit of credit when he deserves it. It is what it is. You give people credit when they deserve it, and you don't give people credit when they don't deserve it. But, I think he's gotten some things right. But what I think he is wrong about is this whole thing with Kathleen Kennedy and the retconning of the sequel trilogy, because after this Star Wars celebration, it's very, very obvious that they're not going to retcon the sequels. And Kathleen Kennedy is only going to leave when Kathleen Kennedy is ready to leave. For better or worse, whether you like that or not, that seems to be the situation we're in. The sequels are not going to get retcon. And so let's talk about what this movie is not going to be. This movie is not going to retcon the sequels. This movie is going to still lead into the sequels. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if there is involvement from the Sith Eternal and Palpatine in this movie. I would not be surprised at all. It is going to lead into the First Order. It is going to lead into Luke's new Jedi Order and Ben Solo and eventually Rey. That's what this is going to lead into. They are not going to get rid of the sequels. Now, how much are they going to mention the sequels? How much are they going to mention sequel elements in this movie? I don't know. But I hope that this is going to be more so a culmination of everything that's been going on Disney Plus more than anything. Now, that being said, what is this movie going to be? What should this movie be? Well, like I said, it should be the culmination of everything that has come so far. So, we've been waiting for a long time to get some questions answered after the finale of Star Wars Rebels. And my hope is that the Ahsoka series is going to answer a lot of that. But I think the finale, the true ending to all of this stuff is going to come in this movie. And when is this movie going to come out? I'm not entirely sure. I feel like this is going to be the second movie, because there is 3 movies announced. There was the Rey movie. I think that's going to be the first movie to come out. I think that's going to be the December 2025 movie that was announced. a few months back. So I think that's going to be the first movie. And then I think this movie, this Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Rebels, finale, I think that's going to be the second movie that comes out. So probably 2027. And then, of course, the other movie that was announced was the first Jedi movie, The Dawn of the Jedi. And I think that's going to be the last movie. I think that's going to come out in 2029. That's my predictions. And we are going to have a video later tonight talking about the first Jedi movie. So stay tuned for that and subscribe. So yeah, I think this movie is going to be the culmination. It's going to be the finale. I think this is going to be kind of an all-out war between the Mandalorians, between the fledgling Jedi that are still out there, like Ahsoka and Luke, and Grogu, of course. And I think it's going to be all of them versus Thrawn's forces. I think we will probably get to see the beginnings of the First Order. We'll probably get some hints about Exegol. I do think that stuff's going to be in there. So the way you could kind of look at this, I called in a video I did earlier today, which is on the channel, you guys can go check it out, where I talked about the Rey movie, how it's going to be post Rise of Skywalker. I talked about how that's probably going to act as an epilogue to the sequel trilogy and to the Skywalker saga. Well, you could probably see this movie as, yes, being a finale to all the Disney Plus stuff that has come out, but it's probably also going to act as somewhat of a prologue to the sequel trilogy. And I kind of think between the Rey movie and this movie acting as a prologue and epilogue to the sequel trilogy, it's kind of maybe their way of retroactively fixing some of the mistakes of the sequel trilogy. So they're not going to go, they're not going to, step back on the sequel trilogy. They're, going to, really push the sequel trilogy. But I think at the same time, they're trying to use some of these movies to retroactively fix the problems of the sequel trilogy, trying to, mend what happened, mend the divide, and hopefully kind of make an apology for what happened with the sequel trilogies by trying to fix it, by trying to retroactively fix it. And I think this movie could help to do that. And I hope it's good. Didn't really care for the Book of Boba Fett. I really like Star Wars Rebels, though. The Mandalorian, at least the first 2 seasons, were good. Ahsoka looks fantastic. Thrawn is an amazing villain, and I'm glad to see him being reincorporated back into canon. I liked him in Rebels. I think he's going to be even better here in the Ahsoka series and in this movie, assuming that he survives the Ahsoka series to be in the movie. And he's being played by Lars Mikkelsen, which I think is a really great choice to play him. But, I think this is going to be really, really good. I think this movie could be really, really good. And, I don't want them to, connect this movie too much to the sequels, because I want it to be able to stand on its own and to be able to enjoy it on its own. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this movie. I think it's going to be pretty good. So that being said, tell me what you guys think about all this down in the comments section down below. Give me your thoughts on this. Are you looking forward to this movie? What do you think its purpose is going to be? Do you think it's going to help to fix the sequel trilogy, or, do you want it to be more of a standalone thing? And, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about all the Disney Plus stuff with Star Wars? Let me know down in the comment section below. Of course, you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, all that good stuff. If you want to support me financially, become a patron on Patreon for only $3 a month. The information for that is down below as well, and you're also seeing it on screen right now as well. And if you feel extra generous, I have a Venmo, a Cash App, and a PayPal. Would really appreciate it if you guys could send some money that way too. I want to do this full time, so I need you guys' help to do that. And of course, if you can't support me financially, subscribing is a really great way to do that. Share the content so more people can subscribe. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be able to get monetization. So I would really appreciate it if you guys could do that as well. All right, until the next one, I am JeskerJames with a Z, signing out.